So when I was asked to present today and talk about marketing methods for small businesses, I just immediately thought of for small businesses, if you can do it for free, then all the better. So what could you do for free? And obviously there's lots that we do, and the digital sector is huge and vast, and there's lots of things that I could have talked about, but I've just pinpointed a couple of things that can be done for free that hopefully might help you. So we're not here to talk about ourselves, so very quickly, to give you a very brief overview of who we are. So we are the Wish Group. I head up the digital side, Wish Digital, and the company's been around since 2003, and what we do is work across, on the digital side, everything from website design and development through to content marketing, paid advertising, search optimization and the like, and on the agency side, everything's from brand positioning, brand development, branding, through to exhibitions and offline media. So our aim is to help clients win and keep customers profitably. We think it's as simple as that, and as a marketing company, that's what it's all about. So what can you do yourself to enhance your online presence? This is what Google say, and if you actually look up, if you wanted to really know, and we talk about Google because they're so dominant in search, they actually break it down to 4 points, 4 key things, and you can read that yourself, and I won't read it all out, but just to pick out the highlighted words in there. The first one is high quality content. That's what they want. They want to provide a great user experience for people. And if you're providing great content about whatever it is that you're involved in as a business, then you're doing a good job and they'll like you. As Chris has already spoken about, mobile friendly, very important, so I won't go into that. 3 is informative titles and snippets, and this, I'll talk about this a little bit more, because this is just about giving Google the right information, just to tell them what do you want to rank for, and it's just helping them to understand what your website's all about, and where should you be appearing in search rankings. And number 4 is structured data, slightly more, getting into a little bit more technical side of things, but structured data is just something, again, that you can add to your website just to provide a bit more information that then can then appear into search results. Reviews is a good one, actually, that Alex just talked about, because you can make your reviews appear within your search results for your web pages. So what do Google actually want to do? That's the first and most important one for Google. They want to make ridiculous amounts of money and pay as little tax as they can, as we all know in recent news. The second thing that they want to do, as I touched on a moment ago, is provide a great user experience. So it's really about helping them to do that. So how does all of that help you as a small business or small business owner? So forget about the paid activity that you can do online, pay-per-click and things like that. This is something that we quite often use. This is a periodic table of SEO, which was produced by Search Engine Land. And it's great, it's a great little, you can't actually read it very well on this screen, but you can find this yourselves. Just search for periodic table of SEO success from Search Engine Land. But what it does is, so on the left hand side you have content, and it just talks about content. Well, quality is very important for content. Research, show that you've researched and make that content great quality by presenting that research. And it goes into the architecture of the site, the structure. Are you making it easy for Google to crawl your website and find information and understand what it's about? Can you navigate around the site? Do you have a site map? All of these sorts of things that just help Google. Google Search Console, most people in the room will be familiar with Google Analytics, I'm sure, or know a little bit about what it is, and some of you probably use it to understand what visitors to your website are doing. I'm constantly surprised how many people don't know about Search Console. It was formerly called Webmaster Tools, so I thought this might be a useful one just to touch on today. So Search Console is basically, analytics tells you about what visitors have done when they come to your website, what pages are most popular, where do people come from, all of that sort of stuff. Search Console tells you how Google perceives your website and how it's performing from a Google perspective. Now, it's incredibly easy to set this up, so you don't even need an agency like us to do that for you. If you've got an analytics account and you're logged into your analytics account, just go onto Google, type Search Console, and you'll be able to go in and log in and register your site with Google. If you do get stuck, just give me a shout. I'll be happy to help you and talk you through it. But once you're into it, so this is kind of the dashboard that you get in Search Console, and you can link it with your analytics, so you can just go into your analytics and look at everything together. But basically, you just get to see snapshots of what's going on, whether there's been any crawl errors when Google's looking around your website, how many pages are indexed, things like that. And this is just from one of our clients' websites. But then things like HTML, they'll just tell you where you're going wrong. So on here, what we can see, this point. So here we can see whether there's duplicate meta descriptions, which is a negative, whether you've got any duplicate title tags for page titles, any that are too short, any that are too long. So just give you that information, and these are clickable, so they'll tell you exactly which page is a duplicate of another page. So you can go and sort it out yourself on your website if you've got a content management system that enables you to do that. In Google Analytics, you can see what search terms have brought people to the website, but Google has started to hide a lot of that information, so often you'll see not provided, unavailable information. But if you're in Search Console, you can actually see not just what terms have generated clicks to your website, but what are you actually appearing in search results for, so where are the impressions. So we can see here how many clicks there have been, how many impressions you've had for that particular search term, and what position on average you are appearing. So if you see like that one there, luxury furniture, only 4 clicks, 186 impressions, but 39.7, so quite a few pages off page 1, but not far off. So it can help you to understand, with a little bit of content work, where can you push your website further up the rankings for the right sort of terms. And then you can also see which websites are linking to your website, so find out whether there's strong websites that are linking to you, any that you're not so keen on, that you don't want linking to you for any reason, then you can do something about it. So all of that information in there as well, really useful information for any website owner. Mobile usability, it'll tell you as well. You can use the checker that Chris mentioned, or in here that Google will just tell you where you're going wrong if there's any issues with mobile usability. So just to touch on some of that structure stuff, page title. So if you type into Google site : and then your website domain without the www. Then you can see all the pages that are indexed by Google on the search engine. So for the Harrogate Chamber, it threw up some very interesting results. You can't really read it here, but down here we've got a very strange link which appeared with some very strange content, interactive and porous Kongsbergite Afrasian bibliopole, and it goes on. I don't know what that is, but I know that the Chamber are looking at redoing their site this year, so they'll probably sort these things out. But finding things like that means that you can do something about it. So just have a look, see what Google have got indexed for your website, and check that it's all right. I didn't want to talk about a local business for risk of upsetting people. So here, and it's so easy to find websites that are doing it wrong. This is a printer's, I think they're in Dorset. I just thought I'd go as far down the country as I can, so I'm not going to step on any toes. But shellystheprinters.com. What we see here is that same search for them. In their page title, they've got Shellys the Printers, Shellys the Printers, Shellys the Printers. Now, if somebody searches for Shellys the Printers, they're going to find Shellys the Printers because that's their website domain and it's their business and that's what they do. But what this is doing is, so their print page, where they should be talking about all the services that they provide, the products they provide, and everything they can do for customers. It just says Shellys the Printers again. This is just a waste of space, because what they should be doing is getting the right key terms in here to tell Google what that page is all about. And for every page, that page title should be different, and it's telling Google what you want to appear for. You've got 65 characters in there. Make good use of it. So check that, for your own websites, relevant to what you do and the pages that you have, make sure that your page titles are very relevant and using that 65 characters effectively. And down here, again, the description, use that space effectively and make sure that you're getting the right messages across. It's a call to action. People do scan that and read it. but again, it's Google picking up on the right terms for what that page is all about. Just as an example, this is our website doing the same search, but you can see here all the pages very different, but it's talking about, our homepage here, digital marketing agency and web agency in Leeds, just because we want to target Leeds a little bit, as well as Harrogate, and then we have pages about Harrogate down here, and SEO and PPC agency. So very different, but it's all about what do you want to be found for in search. So all very important. And then great content as one of the first point from Google and what they tell people to do. Think about your audience, your market sector, any loose connections to your sector that you can use to create content. So just as a very short example, big changes at the Chamber this year, and what we did just as a little test. This is our website, and you go into our blog, and because we're in the Chamber, we decided to write an article about the new leader for the Harrogate Chamber of Commerce. So there's a page on our blog all about the changes at the Chamber of Commerce. It's good content for Google, it's accurate, it's talking about what's happening, something very current. And then down here we've got a couple of links to Brian being interviewed on the radio, which is a link that's on their own website, but there's no harm in us using it as well. What that then means is if we go to Google and search for Harrogate Chamber new leader, if somebody was looking for that information, we're appearing in the search results up here, number 2 in the search results for that term. And then if you shorten that and search for Harrogate Chamber, again, we're in the search results. Now, if somebody's looking for Harrogate Chamber, they're not necessarily looking for a digital agency, but you never know. But it was really an example. But if you could just think about your own sectors again, something that's going on that's very relevant or loosely relevant, what can you talk about? What could you do a bit of content about on your website that is going to potentially get you into search results? So you can see us down there. And lastly, social media, way too big a subject to delve into in my 10 minutes, which I'm probably over at the moment, so I'll be very quick. But yeah, I think, as touched on earlier, think about which social networks or platforms are right for you. Facebook's not right for everybody, and others are not as well. It is possible to manage it internally, do it for free, the nature of the presentation, but it's time consuming, and you've got to make sure that you're doing the right things and making best use of that time you're spending on it. So read up, understand how to use social platforms. It's not just about self-serving, we're doing this, we're doing that. Social media, especially Twitter, is about getting involved in an online community, sharing other people's content, putting good content out there. That's your channel for putting that quality content out there. So yeah, huge amount of time can be wasted if it's not done correctly, but it can be done for free. And that's it. So things that you can do yourself for free. Don't be scared. Look up Search Console and have a go at getting that information, because it's very useful for any business if you're serious about your website. So that's me. Thank you. If there's any questions.
Again, really practical tips that many businesses.
And when you talk about high quality content, how does Google know it's high quality content?
Well, it's what's in the content, really. If you're writing an article, make it interesting. Don't think about the search engines. Think about a human visitor comes to the website. What would they find useful, interesting about whatever it is that you're writing about? That's the way to do it. Is don't think about the search engine so much. But if you want to make an article interesting on your website, then you want to include images, break up. You don't want just a text-heavy page, imagery, video content's fantastic, and talk about think about key terms a little bit, but don't get bogged down with thinking about key terms, and search terms. But just make it interesting, engaging content. Really, that's all you can do.
But they can't analyse the actual words and what they mean. It's more of the...
Yeah, they Google are very, very clever, and their robots, when they crawl the website, they read it, they read the content, they pick out the every single word that's in that article. They look at how it's broken up, and then things like images. Do they have alt text? So for people with visual impairments, when they come to the web page, are you helping them as well? So you can see what that image is. They like video content being used, embedding from YouTube, which they own as well, is fantastic. So they do read it, and they start to build a picture of what that web page is all about and what your website's all about. Yes.
Hi. More questions for Chris?
Yes, my question, you just mentioned alt text, and I am aware that that is specifically for visually impaired people, but does what you write have any bearing on anything else as well? Was it just a tool to help visually impaired people?
So specifically alt text?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for visual impairments and disabilities, but again, it's just about a good structure of a website. So you're indicating to search engines what that content is and just helping them. So it just means that it's a well-built website. You're following W3C guidelines and making it accessible for all. So that's kind of the two key things that it's all about.
Okay, but it's not the words that you write on. I mean, I'm a bit confused about all of this. The words that you write on to do with the keywords that you hear about in search engine optimization.
Yeah, loose. I suppose every bit of content on a website is loosely, but certainly for images, I think it just needs to be descriptive about what that image is. So it may contain keywords because the image is going to be relevant to the content, but importantly, it's just an image is a small part of the content on the page, but it's all relevant. So yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
We've heard that websites should be mobile friendly, and we're hearing that video is more and more important now, the content. Have you had any visibility of the next thing coming down the line that's going to have impact?
Yeah, Google are really pushing voice search at the moment, and this is changing things a little bit because it's two things: it's voice search and answers. They want to provide answers to people. So often when you search for something now, if it's a question on Google, you get a snippet of information that they've pulled as the most relevant answer to that question. Say, for example, finding out a celebrity's age, they often pull content in and show you that. So that's important in voice search, which if that takes off, personally, I'm a little bit sceptical in this country. I think you go to America, where everyone's a bit more outward, they're quite happy to be on a bus and press the button and say, "Hey Google, where's the nearest coffee shop?" But in this country, I think we're a bit more reserved, and we'd rather be tucked away in a corner typing "where's the nearest coffee shop," or So I think it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. But that's kind of, if there's a next big thing as far as Google's concerned and website optimization, I think that's quite a key one, because it changes the way that the information, it changes the information that you need to be providing to Google to appear for answers and appear for voice searches as well, because what people say is different to what they type in and search. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi Chris, I just wanted to ask you about lists and things like top 10 things to see in Harrogate. Is that still quite relevant?
How do you mean, sorry?
Is it good to do a sort of a bullet point rather than a blog with very wordy,
Yeah, so do you mean if somebody went and searched for best things to do in Harrogate?
Yeah.
I think things like that can be good content, and I know over the last 12 months that's been massive. Everyone's doing 10 things of this, 5 best of this, and it's a bit of a phase thing, but yeah, it's again, it's thinking about the user. What do people find interesting? Yeah, they want a quick 5. What's the 5 best restaurants in Yorkshire? And it's the kind of content that can get visits and will be picked up by Google, as long as it's good content. Again, it's not just 5 best things and then you got 1 sentence for each. That's not good content. And when the robots visit the website, they'll know it's not good content, and it's thin content because there's not much there and not much been spoken about. You know, what's there is, are you pulling in reviews from those restaurants? Are you talking about, are you showing videos and other things and imagery? As long as it's good content, then yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Much appreciated.
Sorry about that terrible American accent. But